We like to believe our actions come from who we are, but history keeps showing us something more uncomfortable. Behavior is often a product of the environment, not the individual. The Stanford prison experiment didn't just reveal how people act under pressure. It exposed how effective a system can rewrite identity, morality, and choice. In 1971, an experiment revealed how easily environments can reshape human behavior. By 2026, that experiment has escaped the lab. We now live inside a perfectly constructed prison, one where surveillance is psychological, where you feel the pressure of a watchman even when one is not present, inducing anxiety and dread, a constant fear of being perceived, every action monitored, interpreted, and judged. There is no room for error. Everyone becomes self-conscious. Everything turns into a war zone. The mask people wear becomes both a sword to deceive others and a shield to protect itself from constant psychological attacks. Over time, the environment doesn't just control behavior, it creates a disease in the mind. It gave rise to what is called the Panopticon effect. The Panopticon effect is the psychological phenomenon where individuals modify their behavior because they believe they are being watched, leading to self-regulation and conformity, even if surveillance isn't constant. They are effectively compelled to self-regulate. And compelled is a key word because compulsion functions like a spell, magic, psychological enchantment. Gangstalking indeed has a witchcraft element, and it doesn't come from technology alone. It comes from the human gaze, from the fear of being seen and judged, from what cultures once called the evil eye.
I know what's coming for humanity. Trust me when I tell you. Okay? And what happened to me was I had this anxiety that would not go away. It was really bad. I had a fear not to even leave my home. I just wanted to stay in my house. I became a hermit, bro, which is like so not like me. I was literally staying in my man cave and playing Xbox so I wouldn't lose my mind because I thought I was suffering from a depression from the loss of a loved one. I had lost my sexual appetite. I had a cloudiness. I could not talk like this, bro. I went from someone that was able to speak in front of large crowds, no fear, give a speech in front of a stadium, no problem, to I just could not articulate the way I articulate now. Very foggy-minded. I would cry for no reason, like just always in a state of complete sorrow. Very dark, bro. I would fight with those closest to me for no reason, like argue with my mom, my dad, for no reason whatsoever. They didn't even do anything wrong, and it was like a rage that I could not control. And they would leave, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, why did I act like this, right? And just a real fear to even go outside and deal with anyone, and a constant state of paranoia, fear, depression, all that stuff. After a couple of years of like living like this, literally living in sorrow, bro, such a sorrow, I understood for the first time why people committed suicide. I didn't have those thoughts, but I understood why, because this feeling is such a hopeless feeling. I believe this phenomenon is what they call the evil eye. I believe many of these public people that die are dying from this. The Prophet Muhammad was quoted as stating, half the people in the grave are there from the evil eye.
Have you ever passed by a reflective surface and found yourself powerless to avoid your own reflection? You're walking by a shop front window and it is as if unconscious reflex, your gaze is immediately delivered to your reflective image. Looking at our reflection is how we as humans come to have a more complete sense of ourself, as I becomes acquainted with the self. In other words, it's when you recognize yourself as a subject in the world. However, do you ever get the sense that when you look at your reflection in these moments, it's not the I, but rather an other who is viewing this self? What if this effect can be permeant without a gaze, but a feeling or sensation? I becomes we. This is how even when you're in a house, you're still susceptible to the Panopticon effect. They use silence as a weapon too. When you're on the phone, you're inside your house, talking, and all of a sudden everything goes quiet, too quiet. As if an invisible audience has gathered just outside the walls. The outside is pulled inward. They can bring the outside inside. This is the result of them mastering the human domain, the environment.
That van's been following us since we got off the subway. Just go home and act normal.
People are always watching you. Even though you think they not, people are always watching you wherever you go. When you at work, they watching you. When you at home, your neighbors watching you. When you out shopping, somebody watching you. When you doing good, somebody paying attention. When you doing bad, somebody is very happy. So many people out here want to see people do bad and struggle, but you don't have a lot of people at times celebrate the people when they doing good in life. A lot of times you don't have people wishing well wishes to see people do good. You have so many people out here that's demonic or on the verge of becoming demonic. That's why it's so important to protect your spirit at all times, because you're going to have to be your greatest cheerleader, because most people do not want to see you win. You could be blood related. They don't want to see you win. You could know a true friend. You could know a so-called friend for 30 years. They don't want to see you doing better than them. You can know somebody all your life, but up until the point when you change your life and you up your stock, it's going to be a tension of jealousy. You got to live for yourself, because at the end of the day, you can't take most people with you to the top. At the end of the day, you got to answer to only you and God. You can't worry about how people view you and judge you as a person. You got to hold on to your spirit as long as you can before God call you home. Because people at the end of the day, whether you doing whatever you doing, people are always going to have something to say. So my word of advice is do the things to make you happy. Be around the people that you respect and the people that value you. Don't be around people who don't make your spirit feel well, who don't mean you overall success anyway. Don't be around all these jealous people, because jealousy spread at times. It only takes one bad person to try to ruin your name, ruin your legacy. It only takes one person to try to do that. Don't let nobody ruin your legacy. Go after all your dreams and always be thankful that you live in another day. That's why it's so important to always give God the glory. And the people who have supported you, the people who had your back in the worst of times, do never treat them like they just anybody. Always value the people who value you. Success can come, but if you don't harness all your gifts and ability, you'll just have wasted talent.